Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And in this one, we're going to be giving a play test of the Unholy Death Knight for the next expansion, The War Within. Now, if you're a Death Knight player, you're probably used to being a middle child where you're not really getting a lot of attention. Nobody really notices what you're doing, and you feel a little bit neglected. But in The War Within, that is absolutely not the case. They are taking heavy influence from Warcraft 3. You can see me poking away at this training dummy, and I'm currently on my mount for the entire duration of this engagement, because you will now be able, with the Riders of Apocalypse talent tree, be able to stay permanently mounted in combat in outdoor zones. Now, of course, you're not going to always be in outdoor zones, and that's fine. There's going to be an additional option on top of this called Death Charge, which will replace Death's Advance, and for 10 seconds, you will be able to mount on your Death Charger at 100% increased movement speed, and you cannot be slowed, and you are immune to forced movement effects and knockbacks. And do note that you can get 2 charges of Death Charge for 20 seconds of just rampaging down your opponent at high speeds while they're helplessly not able to do anything. So this is a very initially powerful effect. Death Knight previously being very stationary and immobile. That is 100% not going to be the case here for The War Within. Additionally, with the Riders of the Apocalypse, you are going to be able to summon in the 4 horsemen, and yes, I literally mean the actual 4 horsemen: Mograine, Whitemane, Trollbane, and Nazgrim, and they're going to give you really powerful effects like putting Death and Decay down for you, Chains of Icing your target, basically turning you into the passenger princess, and you just kind of smash buttons and do a lot of damage while they do all of the annoying stuff that you normally have to do as a Death Knight. It's going to be absolutely crazy. And when you use Army of the Dead, you will be able to simultaneously summon in all of the 4 horsemen at the same time to absolutely spam out the screen of whoever is on the other side that wanted to see something in a situation like this. You can see that I just have a monstrous horde of ghouls and baddies just running them down. I can mount on my charger and attack from ranged at the same time with my clawing shadows as I'm moving around the battlefield, immune to slows, and it's just beyond crazy. This is beyond absurdity, I think, that I was really expecting. And honestly, I don't know how they're going to hit this level of absurdity for every other class so that everybody can feel this absurd. But you will also summon the 4 horsemen occasionally, basically just by doing your damage rotation as you're moving through. And an additional effect, when you summon in these Death Knights, they will actually cast anti-magic shield on you. So I'm trying to find exactly where that is on this, but they will actually cast anti-magic shield on you for 80% of the effectiveness. But the main thing is that it'll just make you immune to CC. So you're just going to periodically be summoning in these Death Knights who are going to cast anti-magic shell on you, making you immune to CC while you're mounting at 100% speed, immune to roots and immune to slows and immune to knockbacks. It's going to get pretty wild pretty quickly here. You're just going to get a lot of passive damage amps as well. Here's the anti-magic shield. There's a 45-second cooldown, at least on this, but basically 2 AMSs, yours being 40 and this one being 45, is really powerful. You're also going to be able to gain access to just more damage over time, just more damage in general through all of these other talents that are available to you. Nothing like, on top of this already impressive kit that you've got moving forward. It's all just rune management. You also get cooldown reduction on Death and Decay as well as Unholy Blight. So if you want Big Cleave, 100% you're going to be able to get that from this. And then the Apocalypse Now, which we've already covered, which is going to enable you to summon in all 4 horsemen at the same time. So completely bonkers of a spec, and it's not the only spec that you have available to you. Now, I think that this talent tree is going to be more multi-purposed. It gives you mobility, it gives you defense, it gives you utility, it gives you faster ramp, it's going to give you more burst and more resources. But the other talent tree that you have available to you is called the Sand Lane, which may go maybe under the radar because this one's getting all of the attention, right? I feel like for a lot of people, this is the one that you're seeing all the memes being made about, all the clips being made about, is people mounting up on their stuff. But this one is focused on combining blood and unholy, and it turns your attacks into vampiric attacks so that you're going to be able to life steal and heal yourself a lot more. We can see that with Vampiric Strike. Your Death Coil, Epidemic, and Death Strike have a 10% chance to make your next Heart Strike or Scourge Strike become Vampiric Strike. Vampiric Strike will heal you for 5% of your maximum health and grant you Essence of the Blood Queen, increasing your haste by 1.5% up to 10.5% for 20 seconds. So this one's going to be really good against caster classes and dot classes. Maybe if you really need it, it could make you even more durable against, warriors and stuff like that we've seen in PvP in the past. But I would say that where it starts to not compete is the mobility element. And given that, we're getting Battleground Blitz, which is the solo queue rated battlegrounds coming through, mobility is really important in that, getting over to different nodes and different bases. I feel like this one's probably going to be outshined. This one focuses around using Raise Ally, which again, not superb in PvP areas. We do get Death's Advance and Wraithwalk, granting us additional movement speed, and activating these will also increase the mobility of our allies. So this is where they've attempted to try and include some mobility towards Sand Lane. But it's still not going to feel the same, I think, as perma-mounted combat. Blood-soaked ground, while you are within your Death and Decay, your physical damage taken is reduced by 5%, and your chance to gain Vampiric Strike. So again, this talent tree is just going to be making you way more beefy, way tankier. You can get Lich, giving you Leech and giving it to your allies. Iceborne Fortitude is going to reduce damage taken by an additional 20%. You can see this is just all about beefing you up and making you more tanky. So if you're somebody who's been struggling as a Death Knight in terms of survivability, I do think this talent tree is likely going to be better for you. But if you want all the cool fun stuff from the other one, it's going to be tough to sell on this one. When Vampiric Strike damages an enemy affected by Virulent Plague or Blood Plague, it consumes the disease to deal 200% of their remaining damage to the target. Now, this is where the fun gameplay comes into Sand Lane, is that you're going to basically be able to explode your diseases on the target. And I can kind of show you that here just by attacking the mob. Attacking the training dummy, it is. When you're exploding your diseases and popping them and getting procs, it's going to feel a lot different. It feels like you're kind of like timing your burst around your diseases and making them feel more like bursty, as opposed to just letting the dots kind of sit there and you don't really interact with them aside from refreshing them. It gives you a bit more interaction while you're attacking the mob. And you can see when it converts into Vampiric Strike, it changes icons on the bottom, and we will summon in the Blood Beast, which you can see right here next to me, this big ghoulish looking dude. He is going to absolutely clap people, and then after he's run out, he explodes. And when he explodes, he's going to heal you for a lot. So you get to summon in this extra like rotting corpse of a Blood Beast while converting all your spells into Vampiric Strikes, and right there I got to explode all the diseases on the target and do a tremendous amount of burst damage. So this is a little bit different of gameplay, which adds more flavor to it in that sense compared to any of the other spec, and is going to give you a lot more survivability and tankiness. So those are going to be the main kind of points of customization that I've found so far between the two of these, is the Blood Beast, the durability that you get from this, the Leech healing, obviously. You get a little bit of team utility, which could be good in battleground environments, giving Leech to your battleground team, or giving some movement speed when you use Death's Advance. It's definitely not nothing, but I think mobility is definitely where it's going to fall off. Riders of the Apocalypse is if you want to go fast. Sand Lane is if you want to basically be as tanky as possible. And those are going to be your two main options so far throughout the alpha. What do you guys think of these two builds? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what spec you'd like me to cover next, as I am doing my best to cover news related to World of Warcraft here, moving forward into the next expansions, so that you guys are all up to date. So thank you very much for watching the video. Smash the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.